What was the worst job interview you've had? By Ask Reddit.
At an interview for a tech startup, they asked me if you could be any animal, what would you be? I answered otter because fun, active, work well with their hands and cute as F. They really debated whether or not to hire me because of that answer because, and I quote, "We only hire predators, never prey," and they weren't sure how to quantify an otter, because none of them had ever paid the least bit of attention to any sort of animal documentary or read biology or visited a zoo recently. God, that job sucked hard.
Otters are pretty brutal. They will absolutely F poo up.
But that's the right answer.
Not if you want to make money out of people's clumsiness/tiredness/distraction. Right answer is to tell the costumer to bring their broken screen to the shop, keep it for, let's say, a week, and then tell them that, after hours of hard work, you found out there's no issue with it and that they should check if it was properly plugged, or, if you want to be more offensive, ask if they made sure to turn it on the right way, and then, you hit them with a hefty bill for your efforts. Happened to me. As a costumer more times than I'll admit. Guess enough people got tired of that technician that he went broke years ago.
I drove an hour away to an interview at 8 a.m. I waited outside the interviewer's office until 8:30 a.m. with no one to tell me where to go or where she was. Finally, another employee walks by and I ask if they know where this woman is to interview me. They had no idea where she was, why she was late, and told me if she wasn't there yet, I should leave because she probably forgot. Okay. I decide 45 minutes is the cutoff, especially standing in a government building looking like a creep waiting 8:45 on the dot. She rushes in, flustered, wet hair, and in casual yoga pants. With all the resurgence of patience I could muster, I greeted her and was met with a passive-aggressive scolding of how the interview was at 9, not 8. I triple-checked the email asking me to interview and it was 8. We had conducted a phone interview and she followed up with an email request to an in-person interview at 8. I was 100% positive on this. I hate being late. Even with this, and I did say, "I'm certain you said 8 a.m., Mom," she wasn't having it. Conversely, she also went on about why she was late, surmounting in, she went to the gym and forgot her underwear to change into and had to stop at a store and buy new ones after working out, before coming to work. She told me this in the first 5 minutes. Why? I didn't ask her. Regardless, she looks at my resume, apparently for the first time, because she proceeds to tell me how it is unimpressive and my graduate studies should have yielded numerous publications after 1.5 years. In my field, most don't publish until after 3 to 4 years. Even still, she kept saying how I had moved up the interview time, showed me the workspaces and told me I probably wouldn't be interested in what they do there. I politely told her I had driven, at her request, to be there and interview for employment. I was very interested. She waved me off. As we left, I just tried to hold it together. I was very poor and very desperate for a job. Thanked her, and she told me how great it is to work for the government, how good the benefits, the pension, the time off are. On and on. She said, if you can find an opening working for the government, you should try to check it out and get hired on. HOL up. I just looked her in the face and said, yes, that was my hope with today's interview. Thank you. And left. And sat in my car and bawled the whole drive home like the desperate loser I was. That was a low one, to be sure.
Can't imagine somebody who has obtained a graduate's degree feeling like a loser. You have a random Redditor who doesn't want to hear you talk about yourself like that. This story seems to imply you're incredibly smart with a good and honest heart. Be proud.
My first interview ever was at DQ and I accidentally knocked a 90-year-old woman over.
So after accidentally slaying your predecessor, how's life been as the new Dairy Queen? 5 interview rounds, with the last interview round being with the CEO, all for an entry-level customer service job. During the last interview, the CEO said you weren't allowed to get sick, and you weren't allowed to leave at the end of the day until all of the work had been done. So even though the job was 8 to 4, the CEO said customer service reps often stayed until 6 p.m. or later. She also asked if I would be comfortable secretly reporting to her about what the customer service team is up to. I declined the job offer, and the company harassed me with emails asking why and what they did wrong. Really glad I didn't take the job.
5 interviews for entry level. That's insane. Also, I bet the hours between 4 and 6 were unpaid.
When I was a teenager, I had 3 interviews for Wendy's. It wasn't even for working there. It was for a freelance sound system installation.
It's bizarre, they know they did something wrong but are so out of touch they can't see their own mistakes in front of them. Edit, I guess I got my first ever award overnight. Thank you.
Job was for a vibration analysis engineer. I knew how to do the job well. I knew the pay should be around 95k, and they stated 55k in the interview. When I tried to discuss my point, they said, "Don't worry, there's plenty of overtime." They also mentioned since they weren't involved with many balancings at the moment, I would assist the cleaning crew with a lot of the cleanings. I've never been so uninterested in a job in my life.
Vibrations analysis cleaning crew, that's a complicated way to say sex toy tester.
Not that bad, but I remember Taco Bell asked me what type animal I would be if I could be anything. Like WTF do you want me to say? I would be a fire ant so I could work efficiently with my closest friends. 16-year-old me said an eagle, because they're strong and they can fly. Meh.
Dunkin' Donuts asked me if you could be any color, what color would you be? I said yellow because it's a warm and happy color. I was told afterwards by a friend that this is supposed to WD out the racists. An agency sent me for an interview and said the starting salary is £33000. The interview went fairly well until the interviewer said, "So what sort of salary are you looking for?" So using the info I had from the agency, I said, "Well, I think £33,000 is a fair starting point." The interviewer practically threw me out. He started to shout about wasting his time because I expected to be paid a huge salary, and who did I think I was? He was paying £20,000.
Salary negotiation is so weird. I once had an interview for an internship. I told them $12/HR was fine with me. They then said, "Well, we pay $10.50 as corporate policy dictates, and it's non-negotiable." And I'm like, why did you ask what I wanted to be paid then? Should have just said we pay $10.50/HR, is that alright?
Maybe if you had suggested a lower rate than 10.50, they would have gone with that and saved some money.
And this is why I always bring a copy of the posting with me. I don't think it would have helped, and you probably dodged a bullet anyway, but one day it'll be useful.
Yeah, I have one that sticks out. I applied to a government branch as a network admin. The newspaper ad asked for a bachelor's degree. They called me into the interview. When I got there, the first thing the interviewer said was, "We wanted someone with a master's degree. Why did you apply?" Now, I wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they had other interviews that day and got them mixed up. POO happens. I just informed the interviewer that the ad I applied for requested a bachelor's degree, and confirmed the position I was interviewing for. No, we definitely wanted someone with a master's degree. So, again, why did you apply? If you wanted someone with a master's degree, why did you bother calling me in for an interview? You're very rude and unprofessional. Yeah, you F'd up at every junction thus far, but I'm the one who's rude and unprofessional.
I always have the job posting / description printed, with notes on it. Had similar comments a couple times and it's nice to have it right there. Once had an interviewer say, I don't know where you got this. Ah. You posted it. I copy / pasted.
I once applied for a position and got asked to an interview, even got the job. The resume they received was completely blank due to some F-up on the job site I used at the time. It just has my name / number at the top. Was pretty weird when they asked me basic questions.
When he said I'll give you extra hours if you bring me smokes every day, then put his hand on my leg, and said his wife gives him passes to have fun. I also got a speeding ticket on the way to the interview. Was not my month.
Would not have been surprised if you got a speeding ticket on the way home. Just not possible to get away from that POO fast enough.